everyone. It is a gloomy and stormy Monday here on the East Coast. Kind of glad we got this set up, weather permitting. Was supposed to be pretty bad, but me and Scooter have not gotten anything. Not again, knock on woods. But it is a questionable day. How are you doing today, Scooter?
Doing all right. We're still waiting for the storms too. So I mean, they're showing Cape May, New Jersey on TV, and Philly's supposed to get a bunch of stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah, I watched a movie earlier and still like nothing happened. Um, but no, so let's get started. We got a couple things to talk about here. Um, First to just get started, a look in the rear view mirror. We had a but if the button will work. Oh my goodness.
Push the button. Well, oh, she is not.
Okay.
There she is.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, again, weather permitting, guys. I'm so sorry. Gonna pray that the wind does not knock out my power. Look in the rear mirror. We had a couple things happen over the past week. I have not been here for a little bit. I've been so busy with life. It is absolutely insane. So what we're going to talk about, we got NASCAR, we got the World Baseball Classic, we got our March Madness brackets to talk about, and then also just going to talk about the Paralympics that wrapped up. Also, we got the PGA tournament, and then also just going to give you a rundown on the NHL season because we are close to the playoffs. We have about 15 games until people start before we start getting that playoff bracket in, and it's gonna be a crazy sports time for sure. I love springtime. I love March. All right, so let's go into NASCAR now. I was not able to watch the Las Vegas race, so I will have Scooter take it away on kind of the rundown of it. But we did have Denny Hamlin win his first race of the season, I guess you could call it. Good for him, of course, because we know the troubles he went through the offseason. It was a very sentimental moment between him and his family, and it makes you feel good. It always gets you right in the heartstrings, right, Scoot?
It does. And last year they showed the replay of Denny Hamlin winning the same race last year, and he was very emotional at the end of that race. He was talking about how this one's for his father who was battling cancer at the time, and it was a terminal cancer. So you see that, you saw the emotion on him from last year, and then he comes back and wins this year, and you kind of see there wasn't as much emotion. There was a lot of smiling, and then it was really cute because his two daughters came running up. One of them lost her shoe. The older daughter was crying, and then his mom came out and gave him a big hug, then his wife and really younger daughter. So it was really nice, and it was really good to see Denny happy and in a getting him back to who Denny used to be, a guy that NASCAR fans liked, and then he said, "All right, I'll just be the villain." For some reason they don't like me anymore, so I'll just be the villain. But so hopefully this gets it back to where Denny is the nice guy again, because he's really a wonderful person, and he's really having a great season too, if you think about it, on the ownership side, because he and Michael Jordan with 23-11, they won the first three races. Well, it was Reddick that won the three races, but they own his car. And Bubba Wallace, the other guy that, he's the 23, or he's the 11, or the 23, you know what I'm talking about. He's the 23, and Reddick's the 45. So they're both numbered after Michael Jordan's numbers back in with the Bulls. And then, so Bubba is still in second place in the standings, so they're really having. I mean, he's having one nice, after the death of his father in the fire, and his mother was saved. So it's really good to see the redemption story, if you will. And then, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I got nothing. I really watch it that much, but like you said, Reddick and Wallace both on the top for that 23-11 squad. So just it's still early in the season. Denny Hamlin's obviously, I mean, he's up there. He's I think he's in the top 16, I believe, after winning that race with the point system that they got going on. So there's still a bunch of time, and it's good for him. 4? Yeah, number 4. Yeah, so good for him, and he's in a good spot. Finally, good that he got that after again having such a hard time. I believe what's next week? Is next week
What is next week? It is. I'm wondering if soon enough they're going to have an off week.
Yeah, is it this week? I don't know.
It may be. Yeah,
Have
I should know that. I just so the schedule has them next week is the 22nd. The Goodyear 400 from Darlington.
Oh, we got
Yeah,
Darlington. Okay, okay.
yeah, they were talking about that, and so it's the old racetrack. So
I have not been to Darlington. I've only been to Martinsville, which there was the tornado warning in Martinsville earlier. I don't think anything actually happened though, but I was stalking that for a little bit.
I've been to the Martinsville race too.
Yeah, that's the only one I've been to. I need to go to more. I really gotta get around that. Let's move on to the World Baseball Classic. So we do have that almost wrapping up. I believe we're about to go into the final. It's still up for debate though. It's U.S. right, and we got.
It is. So tonight's Venezuela versus Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And so that should be really, really great. Venezuela's been, through the years they've always had really great players, but this year a lot of turmoil earlier in the country per se. So things are like sort of chugging back forward for the country of Venezuela, and the baseball players are really picking back up there again. And so they get to play Italy. They should beat Italy, but Italy's been on this tear recently that they beat the USA a week ago. So, but they'll be playing USA in the finals.
Right.
And I think the finals are in Houston, actually in Miami, excuse me. So I think all the games are in Miami now. So.
Okay, that's good to hear. I haven't really kept up with it.
Yeah.
Maybe once the actual MLB season starts out, might be a little bit better. But hey, go US. You gotta be patriotic, and we will go into it since we are talking about the world. We did have the just a little drive to the net. We did have the Paralympics wrap up. The U.S. Paralympics had a clean sweep over Canada. God, to talk about Canada's luck and big events this year. It's absolutely terrible year for them. But U.S. Paralympics sweeps Canada in the finals. They get the gold. Beautiful moment, not to say so the least. Scooter, did you keep up with any of that?
No, I was a little bit, but it wasn't like on the radar. A lot of stuff going on, like with you, in life was going on. So, but it was great to see that the Paralympic team did beat Canada. They won the gold, and so Canada has lost all three hockey games, and they also lost to the USA in baseball in the World Baseball Classic tournament. So. We got their number this year. It's our year this year. So they could do it the next time. So just go enjoy it while we have it.
And technically, to mention, they lost in the World Series too.
They did. They had a great World Series with the Blue Jays, but they did lose it at the end. I mean, as the Dodgers.
Yeah. So again, terrible luck. Absolutely terrible.
But to jump back to the World Baseball Classic real quick, though. The game last night, USA versus Dominican Republic, these are two teams that were scoring over 9 runs a game. That was their average. And last night, the USA beat the Dominican 2-1. It was a pitching duel. Skeens, he was just lights out.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah, and he was unbelievable. And it was just a really great pitching duel. And, for teams that were hitting it. For a game that you would think would be 10-9, it was 2-1. So it was really good to see, that sort of Major League Baseball World Series style, Game 6, Game 7 type of stuff right there, 2-1.
Yeah, for sure. No, like I said, it hasn't been my forte. But it is, I guess, like a good preseason training thing. Is it similar to like how the NHL does? I mean, they have their Olympic break, obviously, but like how they do like their all-star breaks, or like I guess anybody does their all-star breaks, or do like their little nations tryouts where they kind of give the players a moment to have like some sort of fun. Is it kind of like that in a sense?
Somewhat, but this couldn't be a better. This is of course the best time to do it because the clubs like the Yankees or whoever, any of the Major League Baseball clubs are like, our players that are playing in the World Baseball Classic are playing, and they're playing
Right.
competitive ball right now. And we're still playing spring training, so they're
Yeah.
happy for it because I mean, you'll have Aaron Judge coming in there, and he'll just come in and just start hitting home runs again, just like Scherber is, or what's his face from the Phillies. So he's going crazy too. The Schwarbombs.
We don't talk about Aaron Judge because I hate Aaron Judge, okay? I'm editing that right now.
That's okay. He's looking pretty good. No, who's not looking good is Bryce Harper. Now, you don't sit Bryce Harper, but I think Bryce Harper's like 1 for 13, and he has a double. And he's been striking out like crazy.
I don't good that Bryce Harper is doing better. I like the Phillies better than I like the Yankees. Yeah. I can tell you that for sure. I don't know why I went so Jesus Lord. No, we don't talk about Aaron Judge. I wish him the absolute worst. Maybe not injury wise, but it's still pretty solid. Trying to think here. We will go on a quick commercial break, and then we will come back at you with PGA talk, and then we can get into our March Madness. So just 1 sec. I'm trying to do this right. I've never done this. I didn't do this the last time I hosted, so we're gonna try. I think it's just this one button. We're gonna test it out. Ready? Okay, I did hit the right button. Okay, I was making sure. We did have that banner, but nobody saw that. All right, so let's go into PGA. I'm sure you guys are probably not shocked by this. I didn't keep up with this yet, other than it was on my work. So Scooter's gonna take this topic away again. The golf man. Go ahead, Scoot.
Well, it was a wonderful. There's definitely some great golf people at the network here. So, but. It was a really great tournament, and especially the final round was great. So this was the Players Championship in Sawgrass, and if you're not familiar, that's the one on the 17th hole has the island hole, where half the time everyone hits it in the water, the other time, they're hitting it like 3 feet from the hole. So and that's really unbelievable because then you get through that, and then you got to do 18. So if you screw 17 up, you're like, okay, I'm done. But it was interesting because the winner was Cameron Young of Palm Beach Gardens. He got his first tournament ever. Really great younger player. He's been in it for a little bit, but he was paired up with Matt Fitzpatrick of England. And Fitzpatrick was amazing, and so was Young the entire time until Young on 16 was able to get it tied up, and then on 17, and then took the lead on 18, and that was it because Fitzpatrick just hit a little too far to the right. And Young had the perfect shot on the fairway on 18. But Ludvig Åberg of Sweden, he had a 3-hole lead going into the round. So he was up by 3 over the second place guy. And Åberg wound up a +4 in round 4, struggled in like 11, 12, and 13. And it just sort of got away from him. So he finished top 5. There's a really cool story. A young guy named Yella Maraju. He's a Canadian guy. He was born in India. His family moved when he was a little guy, and he used to watch. He trained himself how to play golf by watching Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy on TV. That's how it learned. And then he would watch YouTube, and then he would go to the course, and his father really backed him up. And so this is only his 5th PGA event ever, and he finished tied 5th. So he was 4 under. He had one of the best days yesterday. So we're looking forward to seeing what he does. And then we got in a few weeks, we have the Masters, which is the beginning of spring, officially. But going in there, we got some really Xander Schauffele had a great tournament. He's back. Rory McIlroy had a back thing going on, so he finished, and he probably won't play until the Masters. And then, unfortunately, Colin Morikawa, he was practicing. I think it was like day 1, and he felt something on his back, and then he couldn't swing, so he had to like completely pull out of it. So that could hurt him coming up soon for the Masters. But it was a really great tournament. Good to see. They call it the fifth major because it's one of the toughest ones, and it's really prestigious. Especially, it's a beautiful course.
What's
So.
the fourth, third, and second major or Masters?
Well, it would be the fifth. So you would have the Masters, you'd have the PGA, you would have the British or the Open, as they call it, and then the U.S. Open. So those are the majors, the four majors. They call this one the fifth major.
Okay, I get it now.
You win a lot of money if you win this tournament. So Cameron Young's much more happier today.
Wait, how much money? 25 million?
Yeah, several million. Yeah.
That's
that's the purse. So Cameron Young probably came away with like 6 million, 5 million, something like that.
I'm gonna be a golfer. I went mini golfing last week. I was like tied in second place though. But
nice.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible, but I don't know. I feel like I feel like I won that. The person who won was the one that ironically counted it. So, but that's a little scandal for later.
Oh my God! Yeah, scandals.
It's just me playing. It was with my friends and everything. Gotta give my friends a hard time sometimes. It's always out of love, because we know me. Yeah. So let's go into our women's March Madness bracket. Now I will pull it up on my phone. I do have a bunch of it written down too. We can go over some of the matchups that we got and any predictions we may have or come. I gotta flip through my book here. I had it in a very interesting order. So we got our Fort Worth one. I don't know what word I was trying to say right there. We got the one seed UConn going against the 16 UTSA San Antonio. Then we got our 8 seed Iowa State going against 9 Syracuse. Wait, hold on. Yeah, this is women's. I was trying to make sure. We got 5 Maryland. I'm sure the guys are happy about that. Going against 12 Murray State. 4 UNC versus 13 West Illinois. 6 Notre Dame versus 11 Fairfield. And then 3 Ohio State University. The Ohio State University. I have to make sure I put that in there for my dad. Versus 14 Howard. And then you got 7 Illinois versus 10 Colorado. And then the 2 Vanderbilt versus 15 High Point University, which is here in North Carolina. So I always like a little underdog action. I mean, they've always find their way. Their basketball team is great. They always find their way, I think, into their brackets. But still got to give them their rep when I can. What are your thoughts on just that first listing?
Well, I mean, it's always UConn and Gino, but I mean, if they're not in the Final Four and they're not winning it, then there's something big time wrong there. But that's how it is right now. But it is interesting to see all kind of the DC, Virginia, Maryland schools. So I mean, you got Howard, which is that's great for them to get in Maryland. The Terps, go Terps.
Go Terps.
You got UVA's in the house. You also have Virginia Tech's in the house, which is nice to see. Good on them. Who else did I see over here? West Virginia, if you want to go that route. James Madison. So there's quite a few schools from the DC, Nova, Virginia, Maryland area. So, and I should not leaving out the Richmond Spiders is sad of me too. So go Richmond.
Yeah, that's in the other parts. Yeah, there's a bunch
of schools from that area.
Yeah, for sure. It's always interesting, like, even like with us, like with the North Carolina schools, there's always going to be like 3, and it's always like a great thing to see. And it's always kind of funny because all 3 of those schools, usually Duke, UNC, NC State, they are all in a triangle. We call it the triangle down here. They are all in a triangle. And so the rivalry that you get down here is always fun. I mean, we know me, my rivalry stays strong. I be hating all the time. Yeah, there's a counter for it. So but there's a bunch of, I feel like, Southern rep, East Coast rep, which always makes us feel better. You were talking about some of the other brackets, so let's go. We got Sacramento to UCLA, number 1 seed versus 16 Cal Bap, 8 Oklahoma State versus 9 Princeton, 5 Ole Miss versus 12 Gonzaga, and then 4 Minnesota versus 13 Green Bay. 16 Baylor versus the 11, where you have the toss up between Nebraska or Richmond. 3 Duke versus 14 Charleston. 7 Texas Tech versus 10 Villanova. And then 2 LSU versus 15 Jacksonville U. So for the toss up between Nebraska and Richmond, are you going with the Spiders? Is that where your heart's telling you, or you think it's the Huskers?
I'm going with Richmond.
Richmond? Okay. I went with Nebraska.
Richmond.
I went with Nebraska on that, but I think Baylor's still going to win that match despite whoever gets in.
Oh yeah, so, they do play the neck. Yeah, they do play the team.
Yeah, they have to play the Bears, not the Bears.
You got to see. I think who's the number 1 in that? It's UCLA, but Kim Mulkey and LSU number 2. So it'll probably be LSU going in there too.
Yeah,
so
your 1 seeds are UConn, UCLA, South Carolina, and then Texas.
Oh yeah, South Carolina. Yeah,
South Carolina is always a good one. Go Gamecocks. Trying to think of other ones. Trying to look through here. I feel so crazy.
Of course, I mean Dawn Staley down there. I mean, there are some really legitimate head coaches in the women's basketball right now.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm biased.
Kara Lawson in Tennessee. I mean, they're the 10th seed, but don't ever count out Kara and them. So
see, I have to count them out because they're playing against my pack, and my pack is going to beat the Lady Vols. Okay, I don't care if it's biased. I have the pack going all the way. Okay, guys, I might make more brackets where it's a little less biased because I mean, a 7 seed winning March Madness is absolutely crazy, but it's March Madness. Something is meant to go down. Okay,
it is. But here's the thing with that. If you go against Tennessee, Kara Lawson, I mean, she was at West Springfield High School, so she's a local kid.
Oh boy.
She actually went to a few schools that sort of moves. Yeah, when you're a good basketball player, you kind of move around to the better school.
Well, yeah, you gotta try it all out. I'm trying to think. You were talking about West Virginia. I do have West Virginia versus NC State. In what would that even be? That would be the 8. Is it the Elite 8? I think. And then obviously again, like I said, I got NC State winning that. So I do think West Virginia is a good contender this year, and I do think they can make it far. They'll beat Kentucky and Texas, and they're also playing against Miami OU, which I mean, in the men's sides, we can get into that because that's still crazy that they have a play-in, even though that they were basically undefeated. But again, in our later conversation, I'm sure that's a grind my gears for a Matty Ice next week if we talk about it, depending on how far the bracket has moved by then. I think it'll be in what would it even be in? I think it would be in. Would it be 32 by then? I don't know. All right. Anything else women basketball that is catching your eye? What do we got to talk about here?
It should be interesting. This is how if you get some good battles, we might get to learn some new personalities from the women's game. So, which would be nice. Get some new blood going. Those youngsters going to the WNBA. So this should be nice.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I know there are some really good players in college basketball right now, but I think this is where they're going to be able to make themselves household names, possibly. So
yeah. I only know Pack names, so I'm thinking Lady Pack, all of them go into the WNBA. But again, I mean, you don't got any Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese, or there was another one I think that was good, but it's not clicking in my head right now. You don't have any of those players, so I think this one's like a real test to increase women's sports and have people be more invested in it, which is a good thing because women's sports is amazing and they need their rep because they're just as great as an athlete as a man. So I think with that, you haven't done your bracket yet, so you don't got any crazy predictions. You think who do you think? What are you visioning in the women's side?
So this is the first time I'm looking at it here. So
I know. I'm putting you on the spot.
Make sure I get it in the right one. 2026 net. Oh, see, I'm already looking at the NIT tournament, which Liberty and George Mason tomorrow on ESPN2. That should be a really good game. Liberty had a great season, so did George Mason, but both of them faltered in their playoffs. And just as we talked about Miami of Ohio, so that should probably be the best game in the first round for the NIT. But the men's tournament. So I'm just like, I found it interesting that they have UConn number 2 in Duke's bracket number 1. I mean, that could go down to the two of them. You would expect they would battle it out at the end there.
For the women's?
No, for the men.
Oh, for men. Yeah, I know that is absolutely good. So we will go into that. We will go into our men's. Let's go here. It's so messed up for some reason. Yeah, 2 UConn versus 15 for a men, and then you got 1 Duke versus 16 Siena. I don't know. You think it's going to be Duke versus UConn in the all the way, or what do you think? I
don't see why it couldn't be. I mean, like I look at all of these other Michigan State's okay, Kansas is okay, St. John's, that's a good school. Ohio State. I mean, so I just see like I would predict Duke and UConn. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if you want that entertainment going on, those teams aren't the best of friends. So
I just have a weird envisionment, and I have Duke versus UCLA.
What? I mean, yeah, sure.
I do have
Duke. UCLA has to take out UConn in the second round, which could happen. Absolutely can.
I feel like it could happen. I don't know. I mean, technically, that also means I have them taking out Michigan State too. So I am on I'm just. It's a crazy feeling I got. I can't explain it. I was just writing down what I felt, and that is what I felt.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to go with how you feel.
I got to go with how I feel, and sometimes my tuition is absolutely wrong. I mean, we thought we were going to have crazy weather, and sometimes it happens. It's whatever. Maybe I'm predicting a tornado, and nothing's going to happen.
I mean, long gone are the years where I will go and be like, all right, so Clemson versus Iowa, 8 versus 9. I'm going to really dive into this, and I'll take 10 minutes to look at that one. And then, I pick Clemson because Clemson, they're just stronger, and then they get killed by 20. And it's like, wow, did I waste 10 minutes of my life about that one?
It's funny that you said that because I picked Iowa.
Like, Syracuse versus Richmond. This is going to be simple. I mean, I got Syracuse going and winning the whole thing. Yeah, Syracuse loses to Richmond. So, you just don't know.
Hey, in Clemson versus Iowa, I got Iowa going, but they're not gonna make it against Florida, I fear. Yeah, because I got Florida, Illinois, in that one. What else do I? Wait, no. Yeah, that was. I also got Michigan versus Virginia. For the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
There was. I did want to talk about with the basketball. So you do have the toss up between. You have 6 BYU going up against the winner of Texas versus NC State. Look, I went all in on the women's. I did not go all in on the men's. I feel less confident about that. I have Texas winning that game, but Texas is still going to lose to BYU. So I just want to put it there that my bias didn't go all the way. I became a very strong person, and I had my pack be eliminated in the play-in. So if that makes you feel any bit better about my opinions, there you go. I had to stop my bias there real quick. I also to put in other bias. I was given hype to the High Point. You got 12 High Point versus 5 Wisconsin. I put High Point upsetting. I put High Point upsetting. I had that feeling. It came back to me. I also have Arkansas basically going. It's Arkansas versus Gonzaga. Okay, I got crazy feelings. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
So, I mean, you got the Queens team. They're from your state.
Okay, yeah, I like Queens.
I mean, I don't know anything about them. But the Queens
number 2 Purdue. I don't feel confident about that.
I didn't know who Queens was. I thought they were from I thought they were from New York City.
No, it's I
thought Akeem was looking for his queen there.
It's Queens and Charlotte. I only know one person that goes there, and technically I don't know them really. I just I know that they go there. But I mean, a good school. I think look, I mean, if I go to UNC Charlotte, I'll see that there. So I mean, I think it's a good school, and it's crazy that they did get in. And yes, it is my home state, all that kind of stuff. But they're going against Purdue. I don't see that happening. But I do have Missouri upsetting Miami. I guess if you call it upset, it's a 7 versus a 10 seed, whatever you want to call that. So then you got Missouri versus Purdue. Then I got Gonzaga versus Purdue. And then, of course, Gonzaga versus Arkansas, and Arkansas is winning that one. And that's on period. I don't know what I'm on right now, but.
Well, I can't wait to take a deeper dive into this to look at it all. So this is the first I've actually been able to see.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm kind of putting you on the spot here.
Oh, but, no, this is great. I mean, but I'm like looking at some of these schools like Long Island. Yeah, go to Long Island. High Point, one of your people. So it's cool to see. Hawaii, go Hawaii. And then I saw
that too. That was insane. I don't think I have them winning though. I'm going to be so honest.
Kennesaw State,
because obviously I have Arkansas beating them. Duh. But no, it's crazy that Hawaii. I think like the names obviously like you don't see much. You got Siena in here. You were talking about like a bunch of, we got like a crazy amount of Florida teams, and you got USF, UCF, and then also you got obviously Florida, and then I think there's one more, but I'm trying to remember which one it was. It's not clicking on me right now, but just like a crazy amount of Florida teams in there as well.
But no, there are. It's definitely like condensed areas. I mean, but like Siena, like that's Albany, New York. So
yeah, and then the women's, you also got the 15 Jacksonville U in there, so that's cool. Because I think that one's for there's two because there's Jacksonville and here in North Carolina. There's also Jacksonville University in Florida. I think that one's for Florida.
I went to look at the school at the University of Jacksonville down in our favorite person Paul's neck of the woods in Duval County. And Jacksonville's beautiful school. In fact, the guy that was talking, he's like, we should put you on rowboats. You have the body to be in the row. And I'm like, you guys do that down here? They're like, oh my God. And like they do rowing right there in Jacksonville, just like they do up in Princeton and Harvard and stuff like that. It's great. So
yeah, for sure. Anything else we got that we want to mention on our March Madness?
Well, what is it? Officially starts on what? Like, is it tomorrow night or Wednesday night where the play is?
I saw a lot of Wednesdays, but let me just double check. Yeah. I believe it's oh my gosh.
Because Thursday is when it starts at noon. So
yeah, I'm trying to let me look here real quick. I believe a lot of these are, at least for the men's, you have, I think it's all, well, that's the 19th, so that would be, oh my gosh, that would be Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday's when the regular ones begin.
Yeah, Thursday's when regular, and
so it's got to be Wednesday or maybe tomorrow night too. So
yeah,
keep an eye out. Keep an eye out, people.
Yes. Put your brackets in. Get your monies in. Get your monies up. We will go through a quick commercial break. I'm going to hit this special button again, and then we will get back at you with another drive to the net, because we gotta talk about our NHL, and there's a bunch of things to talk about. So I'm trying to make sure this banner actually goes. There we go. Again, all right, hitting button, and then we will be back. I'm getting better at this. Somebody should pay me.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Give me money. I need a salary. Give me an hourly. No, I'm kidding.
That's right. Jack up the salary.
Yes, guys, I had to buy a new car. I'm gonna put a GoFundMe in the link below. Just start giving me some money, please. No, it's fine. All right, so drive to the net. Our NHL season is wrapping up. I'm going to pull up the standings just a little real quick, but I do want to talk about a quick game. I'm sure you've seen it, but we have one of our star, well, not one of our star players, Austin Matthews has Leafs captain is out for this season after taking a knee-to-knee hit by Ratko Gudas, and the Leafs have faced some heat because their team his teammates did absolutely nothing to this guy as he was laying. He's got an MCL tear and also a contusion, super bad, out for the season. Obviously, Leafs weren't even in the playoffs to begin with right now, but I would like to say it's safe to assume that their playoff chances are well near over because their captain is gone. But Scooter, I'm sure you saw that hit. First of all, do you think 5 games was enough, and how do you feel about the Leafs team reaction to that hit?
I did see it. I'm not familiar so much with Radko Gudas's suspensions, his previous suspensions, which they seem to all have one somewhere along the way. I know that he's about as fast. I mean, he was a Capital once. He's about as fast as a mastodon. So he really needs to keep his knees out to knee people. But that he is I saw the hit, and he should probably get some sort of suspension because he did put his knee out. But they go so quick, and I've seen a million times that Tom Wilson has hit people, and they're like, "Oh my God, he should be suspended for 37 games." It's like they both ran into each other. In this one, maybe it looked like his knee went out a little farther, but
I think he was just he was obviously just trying to play to avoid a goal, and then he stuck his knee out, which that gives it where it looks like there's an intent to injure. And that's obviously never great. Obviously, accusing someone with an intent to injure is not a great thing, anyways. But he did get 5 games. But now people are, debating because he's only 5 game suspension, but the Leafs do play again, I'm trying to remember the exact date that it was where everybody is trying to look forward. It was like, oh my God, which game even was it? Oh my Lord. I need to actually look at the.
So I did find an answer to my question.
Oh, there you go.
So Radko Gudas has now been suspended. I guess this includes it now for 26 total games in his career, and he's almost been fined $1 million in total salary. So.
Is that a little high? Am I crazy there? That feels like that's a little.
He's been doing stuff in the past. So 26 suspended games in your career, it's a lot of games. So he obviously has a history of this. So
I want to. This is gonna
he's been suspended 4 times. This will be 5.
It's gonna make me go down a rabbit hole just to see how many. Was this? Wait, hold on. Is this more or less than Tom Wilson? Most suspended. I'm gonna search it up real quick. Most suspended NHL players or players in NHL history. Okay, well, okay. Technically, Brad Marchand is the most, which that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you'll probably have Dale Hunter up there.
Let me see here.
I mean, I think they gave him 26 games for the hit on Pierre Turgeon in the playoffs alone. That was one of the dirtiest hits you've ever seen.
Yeah, he's
besides Marty McSorley deciding that it's a good idea to hit Donald Brashear, so not even face him in the head with a stick, bam, and then knocked him cold. So that I don't know if Marty ever played again after that. So there's some really stupid players in the NHL sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I obviously I don't hate Brad Marchand. I don't hate him because he is kind of a funny guy, in the best way possible. Because the things he does, it's stupid, but it's Brad Marchand. You kind of expect that out of him,
Yeah.
But no, it's a little shocking. I didn't want to bring that up though, and I was gonna totally bring up the standings, and I was just looking at the Leaf schedule. But they do play again on Saturday, or not? That's a Monday. Not even any of those. They do play the Ducks again, away on Monday, March 30th. So Leafs fans are trying to ask them to actually, if this is a chance to do something, because
actually get into a brawl. That would be great.
nobody did anything.
Right. This will be their chance to get into to give it back. But it doesn't sound like it's going to be good. Will it be Gudis is the question. Will he be back at that time? So that would be a good question. I will look that up because you're stalled out right now. So let's see. Toronto has 5 games, huh? So it may be.
He's gone 5 games. I think they're gonna have enough where he does get back for that. So he
yeah,
will be
that's
back
7
for that
games
game.
away. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He might want to be a healthy scratch that game because that could be a fun one to watch if anyone wants to stay up. It's a 10 o'clock game.
I don't think I'm staying up for that, low key. I mean, like,
John Carlson will be in that and be like, "I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Don't hit me."
oh yeah, no, because he wasn't. That's still crazy that he got traded there. That's such a crazy trade. I don't even think I was there to talk about that one. But I don't know if you can hear that wind. Oh my god, that's insane. Just no, absolutely insane. I mean, I get it in a way. Sometimes there are certain hits where a lot of players don't react, and like even just like watching Kane's games, there's things where we're like, okay, the team could have done a little bit of something, but it's not crazy, especially if that player ends up being okay. But Matthews, your captain, he's out for the season. Like, it's just you didn't do anything then, and I think like I didn't even hear like a post game interview where they said anything like about it, but it's just like just no reaction whatsoever, and it's like I feel like any other team would have a different reaction towards their captain about that. So I'm not sure. We'll see on March 30th if they do have a little rebuttal there and try to ignite the flames that they did not ignite that day, that night, or whatever you want to call it. But no, I did want to bring up that game and that injury because that obviously is important to our standings and how it affects where we go from here. So let's pull up the standings. We'll go with the Eastern. We got Carolina still pulling away, 90 points in 66 games. So that's 16 more games, I believe. So they are number 1 in the Metro. Then you have Pittsburgh and the Islanders tied at 81. Then you also have the Atlantic. You got number 1 Buffalo with 88 points. Is that weird to you, Scoot? That's a little weird to me. I don't know.
Well, Buffalo, yeah. Normally by this point they may have 58 points.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's getting so close to the season where I'm just like, okay, like they're gonna fall apart, right? But they're number 1, and they got a 4-point lead over Tampa, which I mean isn't crazy. That could easily be solved with like a 2-game win streak, if Tampa gets that, or a 2-game lose streak with whatever Buffalo's on. But I mean, Buffalo's showing no signs of doing that. Their last 10 is 9-1. Absolutely, and they're only 2 points away from the Canes if they were in the same division.
So here's the thing about Tampa. They've played 2 less games than a lot of teams right now. So 2 less games than Buffalo. So there's your 4 points if they win 2 and Buffalo loses 2. I mean, there you go. That's tied right back up. So Tampa's really looking strong. But you look at this thing. Okay, who had Pittsburgh, the Islanders, Montreal, and Detroit all in the playoffs? Nobody. I mean, that can
like Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Isles, Montreal, and then Detroit. Yeah, they're all there.
No, yeah, I mean maybe Montreal. Someone picked Montreal, but of those, that's it. No one's picking anyone else except maybe Montreal. And like, okay, a Penguin fan's probably like, oh, I knew they'd be good. Okay, because you're a Penguin fan.
Well, Matty Ice, he predicted Montreal, and he thought that was one.
No, like that would be the only one I would think that people would have predicted.
I mean, I felt pretty confident on Detroit, but I don't think I was fully confident. I don't even actually remember where I put them. We gotta find that clip to see where I
think Montreal I was okay with, but I mean I didn't have any idea about Detroit doing.
I
doing
think
well.
I might have had Montreal on like a wild card spot, but not top 3 in the Atlantic. But you got obviously Buffalo 88, you got Tampa at 84, and then Montreal at 82. And then your wild card spots, we have Boston and Detroit at 80 points. But don't be shy now. You have Columbus 1 point behind, just out of a wild card spot, and then you got Ottawa 3 points behind. And it is important to note that you do also have Philly and Washington 6 points behind. It's a little farther to make that rush, but they are also in the run to try to get a spot. I would say ones you can forget about it would probably be New York, New Jersey, and dare I say Florida and Toronto. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you're 10 or 11 points down now. That's tough. I mean, still Washington, Philadelphia, Ottawa, and Columbus, they can jump right in.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to get a little, especially Washington probably has a little more struggle than the rest of those. But if you get a little kick going, and then you're hoping some of these other teams kind of start faltering a little bit, you can get right back in it. So I mean, it's still wide open for these teams. But again, I think it was last week, Maddie was like, we'll check on it next week, but Florida's probably going to be out of it by this time next week, and he's probably right now.
He is probably right. I mean, I think it just depends. You also, I mean, to mention for Florida, Sam Reinhart is out for I think a little bit, so they just keep dealing with injuries, and they didn't really do much during the trade deadline to really try to fix that problem. I mean, they were in rumors. People thought they were going to trade Bob. Like there was this whole thing that and they didn't really live up to that. Do have one comment here real quick. Ben wanting to mention that we do have a men's and women's bracket challenge
Both
on
of them.
ESPN.
Okay.
It's gonna be like my oh my god, what do we even have? The pick'em. I'm gonna I did win that one. No. It was either that or Boss B. I can't remember which one won. But I'm gonna beat that again. But
thank you, Ben.
yeah, thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. I'm excited for that. I can make more brackets. So yeah, it's crazy that you have obviously like the Eastern, you have just even outside of the wild card, you have 4 teams that are still in it, and then we go to the Western, and it's not the prettiest thing in the world. The Central is definitely prettier than the Pacific, whatever is going on over there. You got Colorado still on top, 97 points. Dallas right behind with 94, so maybe it could be a little toss up. And then Minnesota, you have with 88 points. The number Minnesota, if they were in the Eastern, they would be tied with Buffalo, and then also be second place in the Metro. So it's absolutely insane to think that they are going to get the third, and then they still have to play Dallas in the first round, which in my opinion is like a second round or third, like a Western Conference matchup. The fact that they have to have like a Western Conference like matchup in the first round, it's absolutely vile. Like I saw something like debating like if we need to switch how we distribute the playoffs, if like we have to do like rankings and all that kind of stuff, because I mean this is crazy. You have all this like not like disorder, but just like I don't know. It gets you down a rabbit hole for sure, and we can bring that up at a later point once the playoffs actually are finalized and we see the brackets and how it's going to work out and who has to play who. Going into the Pacific, you have Anaheim with 77 points. Insane. Absolutely insane. If that was even the case, they wouldn't even be in the playoffs if they were in the Eastern Conference. All of these, like the teams in the wild card would not be in the playoffs if they were in the Eastern Conference. Like, what is going on? But no, Anaheim, 77 points. Vegas, right behind, 76. And then Edmonton, right behind that, 74. Then you have Utah, who's basically locked in a wild card. Well, not super locked in, but basically locked in a wild card spot with the number 1. And then you have 74 points. And then you have Seattle at 71 points. And then San Jose, LA, I would say San Jose, LA, Nashville, and maybe Winnipeg are still kind of all fighting to be up there. You also technically maybe have St. Louis if you want to give them credits, but
I won't knock
Vancouver.
Chip St. Louis out yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put St. Louis out yet. They're
Yeah.
technically. What was that? That was. Oh my god! I just got a 77, or I just got like a 70. I even forgot 77 on my. No, I didn't even remember what it was. Something on my trick exam. I did good though. That's important to mention. But that's what, 7 points? Yeah, 7 points behind just from the second wild card, and then I would just basically say Vancouver, Calgary, Chicago, it's over for you. Which is embarrassing because I thought Vancouver was going to make the playoffs. That was one of my predictions, and I couldn't be more wrong. And instead, they're just gonna choke for Gavin McKenna because that's still an option. Yeah. So I don't know. We will. It's absolutely insane. Like I don't understand the Western Conference at all.
Well, I think what you see a little bit is Colorado and Dallas
Mm.
and even Minnesota to a good extent on that as
Oh
well,
yeah,
are beating up on other teams.
yeah,
And it's the other, like Anaheim and Vegas and Edmonton. They're the teams that are like, all right, we're not beating those teams, so we're not even going to concentrate on your division.
right.
I mean, it used to be
Um,
back in. This is how you were talking about playoffs. Back when it was like Adams division, Campbell's conference. When you had those things, you had um, you had two divisions in each conference, and it was the top four teams in each division get to the playoffs. And then those
right.
four teams play each other in the first two rounds. And then it's like, I mean, it was a legit, real like divisional rounds and then conference finals. I like
Yeah,
that. I hope they go back to that. Um, I'm cool with that. And if you can't get into the top four in each of your division, you don't make the playoffs.
right.
I mean, divisions should count. They should matter in hockey, where you beat each other up. I mean, that's where the rivalries came from. I mean, back in my days, the Adams division, man, it was Whalers versus Boston, Boston versus Montreal, Montreal versus Hartford. You can even throw Buffalo and Quebec into the mix a little bit. Those teams hated each other because they knew that if they're going to the playoffs, those are the teams they're facing the first two rounds. They're not going
Right.
to face. They're not going to face the Devils until the conference finals. So that's fun stuff. They just beat
Mhm.
each other senseless.
We should. What if we went back to how they had the division split out during COVID when they were trying to finish the playoffs?
Yeah, yeah. It's like forget about it.
That was that was when the Carolina Hurricanes were in the Central Division. Which I mean, like you do have a good
How do
point
we
because like
get Montreal into the Stanley Cup Finals? I have an idea. Let's make an all Canadian conference. Yeah, it's so stupid.
it's so funny because like all the Canadian teams, they're still pretty spread out from each other. Like just going from I think like Vancouver to like Edmonton or
Yeah,
Calgary is like 2.5 hours. Like it's not close at all, like as much as you think. But I mean, like you do have a good point. Like things that I would think would be a rival between like Carolina, like I feel like Nashville and Carolina would be a great rival. But Nashville's on the Western, like or they're in the Central Division.
it's a few
Instead,
the
we're
hard things
rivals with
to
yeah,
change that
instead
because
we're
Detroit
rivals
used to
with
be in
like
the
the
West.
Caps, or what? Oh, I thought that was something. Um, but no, just very weird. I mean, I think after the season, I don't think Gary Bettman's gonna do anything different. But obviously it is kind of like eye opening just to see how much of a power difference is between just the Eastern and the Pacific right now.
Yeah.
So I think that gives a good wrap up on it.
You see,
I
if they
said
were to do anything, it's like Chicago and Detroit should be in the same division. I
that
mean, it
is
just makes
true.
sense. But no, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have Detroit be a rival of the South of the Bruins, and Nashville is gonna be a rival of the Kings. Like what? Stupid.
Nashville's a rival of the what?
With like the Kings, like
Oh.
LA versus Nashville. Like, oh wow, that's such a rivalry, that
Well,
kind of thing like that. I
I mean,
mean,
you have like because I think like all the central teams I feel like are rivals. Like you have Nashville, St. Louis, I think Nashville, Dallas, especially after like the Winter Classics that they've had,
Yeah.
or the Stadium Series. I mean, I can't say much, but when we had our Stadium Series, we played. That was a rivalry beforehand because we've had history in the playoffs. Okay, let's not do that again. We've had history in the playoffs, so I mean that's just a given rivalry, I think, for Carolina and Washington, and I think they do try to settle that when they do pick those Winter Classic and Stadium Series ones. But I don't know, just something to think about for sure.
Well, it's
We
the whole
got
thing of
5
having a
minutes.
weird, like, in the, like, Nashville in the West.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that reminds me of the days when the who was in the West? The Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons, were in the NFC West for like 3 decades, and their
Right.
rival was the San Francisco 49ers. Like, that's ridiculous. And it just things didn't make sense. A lot of those things. It's like, so the Falcons are in the West, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be on the East. It's just like, I mean, they were central, but I mean, Atlanta's almost in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
I mean, it's closer to the Atlantic Ocean, kind of, if you will, than Tampa Bay is, even though Tampa Bay is kind of close too. But
yeah.
But you know where I'm going with all that stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to picture something, but this one still has when the Coyotes existed. So, but yeah, it's just a very interesting. I mean, some of it makes sense. Like, I would say anything.
It's the thunderstorms.
We're going off. Okay. I have 3 minutes left. I don't know why my Wi-Fi is doing this now. It's done it like what? Like so many times in the last 5 minutes. You have 3 minutes. Just calm down. Oh my gosh. But no, I mean it's crazy how the divisions are kind of. I'll put it up just like in a thing. Yeah, because you have Carolina, Pitt, New York, Columbus. Well, you have both New Yorks, and then New Jersey, Washington, Philly. I mean, I guess nothing technically feels out of place in the Metro. I feel like it's still it's still decent. I feel like it is kind of funny, like with the Atlantic, you have Tampa and Florida there, and then everything else is northern teams. Like, I feel like that's kind of funny. Like, you could probably like mix that up a little bit better, but in a vision, I could almost feel like Carolina would be in the Atlantic and not the Metro, just like with how you're envisioning it. Like, okay, yeah, sure, you have all these teams here. And then the Metro, I feel like, is all those teams that give out that northern vibe. And then the Atlantic is kind of like your southern teams. I don't know. I don't really know how it's supposed to be all listed out. It's kind of just all jumbled about, and you're supposed to make sense. And I mean, it's been only just like a couple of years where we have all these even 8 teams with in the playoffs after we added Seattle, Vegas, and then now we have Utah. They had to move it around. So I mean, I guess it all makes sense in its own way, but I feel like you could still move it around in a sense. I keep saying in a sense, but just for it to make sense, and have all these spontaneous rivalries, but also in a sense where it feels like one team isn't beating the absolute god out of one team. Like, I mean, hold on, we'll go back here into the standings, not the stats. If you're going to tell me that you want me to watch number 1 Colorado go against Utah or Seattle, they don't stand a chance. And I hate that because, like, that's not.
Well, you never know. You never know.
You could just put it in right now that one of those 3 central teams is going into the Stanley Cup final. I don't know which one. I feel like it's probably going to be Colorado, which is how great they've been playing. But, I mean, right now you would have, I think it's Colorado versus Seattle. Oh, you never know, yes. But that's a 26-point difference, okay? Then you also have Anaheim versus Utah. That's a 3-point difference, and that's the number 1 seed versus the number 1 West wild card.
Yeah, I know. If you're going to do it like that, and this is where their problems are. This also, like, if you're going to do it like that, then you make Dallas the number 2 seed.
Yeah,
It should be Colorado and Dallas are 1 and 2. I don't care if you're going to be like, oh, division, it doesn't matter that much, but we're still, if you win the division, you get to be the number 2 seed. It's like, okay, this is ridiculous.
Right. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean,
because like if you're Anaheim, you may play, you could win your division and then play in the first round a team from the other division.
They should play a team from the other. I mean, the number one Anaheim, 77 points. Colorado has 97. That is a 20-point difference. What are we doing here?
Well, that's the way that they made it. So
it's the way that they made it, and we have to just roll with the punches. But I'm telling you, like I'm saying, the Central is basically going to lock in to one of those teams is going to the Stanley Cup final. It is not going to be anybody from the Pacific. I don't even care who wins from Edmonton, Vegas. That doesn't matter. I don't care who wins from Anaheim versus Utah or Seattle, or even if the Sharks or whoever makes in. It's not going to matter because you have to go against Colorado and then the winner of Dallas and Minnesota. You're cooked. You're cooked. Okay? I mean, in the Eastern Conference, it's going to be way more competitive. I mean, yes, Carolina's stealing away in the Metro, but once they get to, God forbid, if they do get to the Eastern Conference Finals, you have them going against, you might have them going against Buffalo, which is only a 2-point difference from them. Even if one of the wild card teams make it, it's a 10-point difference. It's way better than 20 freaking points.
Oh, by the way, I mentioned the Hartford Whalers, so you might want to.
Oh my God!
Update the counter.
Okay.
Actually, I mentioned it twice, but it's no big deal. I'll take it away. It was in the same sentence. Just saying.
It is in the same.
And I'm wearing green today for St. Patty's Day.
It is tomorrow.
That's an old hat.
I have to work tomorrow, so I'm gonna try incorporating as much green. I'm not serving though. I'm hosting, so I'm just gonna have green hair accessories or something. I can't wear green shoes, unfortunately. But I will try to incorporate green. I need to do a DNA test. I'm pretty sure we're a little bit Irish though, just a little bit. At least on my side, not that, but or at least on my mom's side, not Matty Ice. But no, I think that wraps up. We kind of went on a. Was that a grind my gear? That might have been a grind my gears.
It was grindy. It was grindy geary.
It was a little grindy geary about how the NHL playoffs might be set up. But if that doesn't show you what this is about, I don't know what else will. We got to make sure to tag in. We have Pretenders and Contenders with Devon Powell tonight at 7 in an hour. If you'd like to tag in. Tomorrow we got Tuesday Night Flight. There's so much more new shows. I'm trying so hard. There was a picture, and I could follow off the picture. I'm just gonna name off all of them, and I can't, and it's not even gonna be in correct order. But we also have Nothing or Net on a day. We also have Unapologetic Sports. We also this is so bad. Thursday Night Throwdown. We also have that. Yeah. No Friday shows. I know that for sure. We have Saturday Night WrestleManiacs. And then Sunday, you can start your morning with a little Sunday morning rise. I think I'm missing a couple, and I'm so sorry. But the Sideline Junkies podcast is where you want to find all of your sports. It's a great place to be, a great group of people. There's another chaotic hosting between me and Scooter, but what else do you expect?
Nothing.
We bring the chaos. In a sense of calm and glory. But obviously, as my father always says, make sure you tell your loved ones you love them because you never know what's guaranteed. Obviously, we've had crazy weather today. Well, crazy if we want to call it that. And again, I think you got 2 more hours, right? That's how long your watch is until?
Yeah, going to probably 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, so you got a couple more hours of whatever's going to happen, but we got tornado season coming up, so just make sure to always stay prepared. I'm a weather junkie, if you want to call it that too. So I always try to be an advocate to be prepared, to be safe. Don't be scared, just be prepared. It's always way better. But again, just tell your loved ones you're prepared. to that you love them. I was gonna say tell your loved ones to be repaired. I guess that works too.
Repair them.
All of the above, and with that, it will be a goodbye, as we do say. And I will see you next time. I'm gonna try doing my little thing while also saying goodbye. Any last words? Any last words?
No, just like survive the storms, everyone. If you don't have to go out, if you're in the storm areas, you don't need to go out.
Yeah. If you don't have to buy a car, don't buy a car. GoFundMe below. No, there's actually not.
People get in their cars and then a tree falls on their cars and that's it. It happens.
I can't say much. My mom like went to the UPS store, but then I got Subway out of it, so I guess I can't complain. But no, with that, we say goodbye. Be safe. You're all loved. You're all important. Okay, this is so bad.
This is a swim move.
Oh my god. Yes.